Good morning, everybody. It's nice to be back doing a live drive with you all. Took some time off. We finished shooting our Tavern talks on Sunday night with Ken Gavin, talking about Valley Forge, and it went very well. Ken did a great job. I told him at the end, I said, Ken, these are supposed to be the anti-lecture lectures, but I think I speak for myself, or I think I speak for all of us when I say that we wanted to hear you more than discuss. I mean, there was a bit of a discussion, but Ken does such a great job, and I think even with the materials that were provided, most Americans don't really have a good fundamental understanding of the American Revolution. I don't think we have a fundamental understanding of where we came from to form the country, and how, how difficult it was. And I kept saying this throughout the Tavern talk, it's a miracle. I think I said to Ken at one point, I said, Ken, it's a miracle that you and I are standing here having this discussion with these people in a country called the United States of America, that has had many miracles that saved it along the way, where any other country would have faltered or failed, or so I see it. And so, we had a good time there. But anyway, so all of the Tavern talks are now in the can, and the only thing left before us is to edit them. I don't think they're going to be out early January now. We're just so woefully behind. Millions of other things knock me off track. This week we just didn't have any time to edit. There were other things to do. Wednesday, which was yesterday, we shot a commercial for Patreon featuring Court and Mikey B. And that took last Wednesday, where we wrote it in the morning, filmed 2 of the scenes in the afternoon, and then we completed the other, 3 scenes. Well, it's really 2 scenes and 1 quick shot yesterday. And then I edited it in the afternoon. And it was fun. We had fun doing it, and hopefully you'll enjoy it, and hopefully it'll push some of the freeloaders over to the light, if you will. And so today I'm going in to just kind of finish that up so it can be put into the commercial breaks. And if I can succeed in that, it'll run on tonight's AG Today, where Reza Jalal is the guest. You know Reza, he is the manager of the farmers market. We like to have him on in the spring and in the fall to talk about what's coming up for the farmers market, and then how well they did at the end of the season. Also, we just like talking to Reza, so it's just an excuse to have him in. And then, we're kind of coming down to the wire for AG Today episodes. The season winds down. And then so this, what is it? The 6th is the Christmas party. By the way, if you haven't signed up for the Christmas party yet, there's a few slots available. We're very limited in space. I think there's only like 10 spots left. And that is going to be on the 6th. We figure that a lot of you are going to be here for the Christmas festival, so why don't you come and join us for drinks and bar food and joviality that evening. And yes, it should be fun. And what else? That's about it, I think. Let's see what everybody's saying. Eric says, good morning on this fine day. Good morning to you, Eric. Yes, it is a fine day. Gene says, happy Thursday. Happy Thursday to you, Gene. Barbara, hello. Matt Gillespie says, good to see you, Matt. Good to see you, Matt, as always. And let's see. Ty Webb says, good morning to everyone. Everybody's included in that. Wonder Monkey is happy that we are live. Chet Chris, good morning. Fraser Baby says, good morning, Matt, and everyone this morning. Matt Gillespie, thank you very much for the cup of coffee. I will be stopping in there for that. Wonder Monkey can't stand freeloaders. Oh, go easy on them, Wonder Monkey. Paul says, morning, everyone. Morning, Paul. Jeff, good morning to you. Eric says, are you doing the parade this year? Oh, yeah, that's the other thing. We're doing the parade on Saturday. And then afterwards, I'm going to a dinner at the JR Hall with Mikey B and Court. And so that should be fun. And let's see, what else? Yeah, that's pretty much it. So hopefully next week... Wait, is next week Thanksgiving already? I guess... Well, I don't even know what date it is. No, it was the following? I don't remember. I don't know where I am. Anyway, then we got that to do. But that should be easy this year. We're going to Cindy's family down in Frederick, so it's up and back. That whole big 2 to 3 hour drive to either Wilkes-Barre or New Jersey. So that's nice. That I'm very much looking forward to, because it's not a trek or an endeavor. It's a quick little jaunt. And I don't mind that at all. And then, yeah. So hopefully I'll get some editing done during Thanksgiving weekend. John says, AG season finale coming. Big ending, cliffhanger. Who gets shot? Exactly. I think we all know who is going to get shot, but yeah. No, I don't know. Do we have a cliffhanger coming? I don't know. I always come up with... It's hard for me to get into the Christmas season before Christmas Day. And then there's about an hour and a half I have where I'm moved by the spirit, and then it goes away for another year. So it's hard for me to pre-think of Christmas things to do. I guess we'll do our traditional Santa and Mrs. Claus. Hopefully people will call in and talk to Santa and Mrs. Claus. Of course, have the kids call and tell Santa what you want for Christmas. Hopefully I won't pass out from suffocation due to the beard. I mean, hopefully Santa's diabetes will clear up and emphysema. We'll see. Brando Commando says, good morning, my AG friends. Good morning to you, sir. Wundermonkey says, Matt, are you driving around with your Getty's Nerd sticker on your car yet, or did just Gillespie and pass it? I gave Getty's Nerd stickers away. The ones that you gave me, I gave them away because I feel that they would do better in the hands of people who are not here driving around with them on their card than me being here. Although I am going to get a sticker made of a QR code that'll take you to something. I'm not sure what. Probably my link tree. I guess that would make the most sense, right? Or should I just have it go to Patreon? I don't know. We shall see. Ty Webb says, hello, Jeff. I read that Bill's Stadium is 12% behind. I just watched the video this morning. It was a short, and this guy's like, this is why I don't follow sports. And he was standing in front of the Roman Colosseum. And he basically reminded us that, you know, the Romans knew that if you kept the people fed with bread and you gave them circuses, they wouldn't pay attention to anything that you're doing, and you can get away with just about anything. And I think that's really why I never got into sports. I find it to be a distraction from actual life, and it's odd to wear a shirt with somebody else's name on the back of it. That's how I feel. Sorry, gentlemen, but you know that I feel that way already. And let's see. Brando Commando says, of all the guides you've worked with, and known, who would you rank your top 5 10-4-pound? Wait, 5. Okay, your top 5 to 10 pound for pound on knowledge of the battle itself, not necessarily the war as a whole. Well, I'll make it easy for you. All of the ones that we have on the show regularly, I would put on that list. If they've been on the show more than once, they're on that list. And if they haven't been on the show lately, it's just because we haven't scheduled them, or because they're busy when we try to schedule them. Because now that we do them live, we have a finite amount of time that we can have them on. We don't, it used to be whenever you're available, well, that's when we'll record it. But now you got to be available Wednesday nights, or that's it. Yeah, no, that would be the simple answer. Just go down the list of shows and look at the guests, and those are the people. Now, that doesn't mean there are people who haven't been on the show that have just as good a grasp on things, but some people just don't want to come on a podcast. Like, they're not that type of person. So I would say you can't go wrong by going with anybody who's been on this show. And I know this not because I know more than they do about the battle and I can tell who knows what, as that's not the case. But I know it because they come on, they take questions on the fly. They'll tell you they don't know if they don't know. They'll give you an answer if they know. And I have had I'll put it like this, in the comments section, anytime a guide has been corrected on the show, it's for a very minor thing, and it's usually a misspeak, because either a sentence or two before or a sentence or two after they say the correct thing. So, like, in other words, saying early when they meant Yule, and everybody knows they meant Yule, but that one commenter has to be like, actually it was Yule and not early. And but, well, you didn't listen to the whole thing because they said it before and they said it after. It was just a misspeak. And honestly, that's the type of corrections that they get in the comments. Or someone will come off with the air of correction, but really what they're doing is adding to what the guide says. Yeah, so that's it. That's what I would say. I really couldn't give you a proper 5 to 10 list. I do not have the bona fides for that. But I can tell you that we think that the people that we regularly associate with are people worth hearing from. And that comes out of living here and operating a tour company. And, that tour company, we had 5 or 6 guides who worked with us on a regular basis for years. And I got to go out on their tours. I got to know them very well. Bob Steenstra being one of them. And they all are fantastic. And so, I got a good education on what a good guide is. And so it's easy for me to tell. But also the trick is you got to not just be a good guide, but you have to be a good guest. You have to be engaging on a microphone in front of a camera, not a group, but one person. That's kind of difficult for people to do. So yeah, I would say just go by the show. Geez, okay, let's see. Wow. All right, Jeff Pasnick said, had an amazing time at the Valley Forge Tavern Talk. You and the gang did an outstanding job. Can't wait for more of those. Well, I hope we can finance more of those because our wish list for next year is quite good. It doesn't mean we wouldn't have some of the same people back for other topics, but it is under it will be, I should say, under the Addressing History banner. So we can, start with who we know and what we know, or maybe just who we know, and start branching out from there if we do more and more of these as time goes on. I hope we do. Matt Gillespie says, thank you, Under Monkey, for my Getty's Nerds sticker. It looks great on my car. There you go. And if you want to make more of them, I'll hand them out because people love stickers, and I will, I'll hand them out to people. Eric Houston says, typical Bills. Okay, whatever. Ty Webb says, sadly, I've known this. Okay, great. Patriot. I don't do Christmas anymore. Never liked it. Oh, you lucky bastard. We were talking about, because it's, you got to do holidays. You got to split yourself up, right? Every other year we go to one or the other. So I think the way we do it is this year it's Thanksgiving with Cindy's family and Christmas with mine. Next year, it's Thanksgiving with my family and Christmas at home, which I've never done. I did miss one Christmas a few years ago because I was really sick and I couldn't get out of bed, and that was great. And by the way, no different than any other day. By the way, okay. In other words, I wasn't like, oh, I'm alone on Christmas. You know, I guess that's easy to say when you have the option to go with people, but you're sick. There are people who are genuinely alone on Christmas, and I feel bad for them. I truly do. So maybe it's not the same. Anyway, let's see here. Yes. So I look forward to doing Christmas next year at home, doing nothing. Jeff Pasnick says, okay, first of all, the stadium is on... Oh, God almighty. Patriot, he says. Jeffrey says, my trips to Gettysburg are for my sanity. Yeah, I know. 60 seconds, 28 viewers, only 6 likes. Yes, there are, the vast majority of viewers don't actually like addressing Gettysburg. They call it hate watching or espionage. And so that's why they don't actually hit the like button. Patriot says football is rigged, just like, okay. It's all to make you dumb, guys. Stop. Matt Gillespie says sports is a distraction, but sometimes I want a distraction from all the goings on in real life. That's why I watch old movies, or I read, or I go for a walk, or I do anything but watch a sport. Wonder Monkey, I said I gave them away. What good are they going to do any of us if they're thrown away? I have to give them away, so people will put them on their cars and others will say, what is that? And then they get talking. Oh, well, it's addressing Gettysburg, and it's the greatest thing in the world, and so on and so forth. Ty Webb says, be careful, Jeff. You'll find yourself on top of a table at a tailgate. Okay. Oh, all right, let me just... Matt Gillespie says, Gettysburg is a distraction, escape from my modern problems as well. Yeah, there you go. Bugler, am I the only one who shared it today? Probably. Wonder Monkey, he gave them away. Blah, blah, blah. Morning Man. Yeah, the sharing thing actually does help. It does help. Especially YouTube videos. Those, you've heard probably me and other people like JD and stuff make reference to how YouTube kind of F's with us. And from what I've been watching from people who know more about how YouTube works, it's apt to get worse in January. And I look at when it seemed to be that they meddled less a few years ago, it grew very well. And then just in time when they flipped a switch and things changed last January, everything went to hell. So sharing, liking, commenting, those are great ways to help it. And it's free. It doesn't cost you anything. Ron Moore, morning. He says, had a good time at the Tavern talk. Thanks for letting me sit in. You're welcome. Did you see the picture of the guy's car at the angle? Was out with Eric Lindblade and saw that goof. Mikey B sent that to me this morning, and I thought it was photoshopped. What? I hope he was drunk or mentally ill or in some other way disabled, because I don't know how that could ever make sense. Like, what are you talking about? Devil's Den donuts are huge. The apple fritters are amazing, says Matt Gillespie. They are. They're enormous, and they're very good. Jeff Pasnick, yes, Eric. Okay, Jim. Jim says, I'll be at the parade. I know I have to get there early. I'm thinking about getting a Steinway with my folding chair around 9. Is that ridiculously early? Yeah. I mean, I've seen people leave their chairs out there then, but yeah, it might be a little early. Might be. I don't know. We get there around 11. And for us, at least, it was early enough. But we're kind of granted a perch, so we're like up on a embankment, so we can kind of look over everybody's heads. So, yeah, but we'll be at Bantam Roasters. Just look for the Addressing Gettysburg battle flag, and we will be there. Come on by, say hi. I think if I get there early enough, I'll set up the camera and maybe do a man on the street. It depends if Tad is available. I'll have to find out, actually. I haven't heard anything about the cemetery's illumination. I don't know. I'm guessing if the government is still not technically open, then no. But that's my guess. One of Monkey says, I was thinking about doing up some more and sending them out to anyone who wants one and sends you a $5 or more super chat. Oh, well, there you go. Well, let everybody know and then take care of that. I appreciate that. UNC Samurai says, oh, we do expect the occasional empty chair. Dennis says, good morning, Dennis. How are you? All right, so we're going to go down around Culps Hill, and then I have to, well, let's see. I got to grab some eggs and bacon at Gettysburg Baking Company. And then I got to go talk to Bantam. Oh, by the way, I'm going to start a tab at Bantam Roasters for Saturday during the parade. It's during the parade only. It's $100. When the $100 is up, so is your luck. But I told them I'm going to do a tab, and the only condition is that you feature Little Ground Top by the cup, and the tab only applies to people who order a cup of Little Ground Top. Not everybody, only Little Ground Topians. So make sure that, and when I say during the parade, we're going to start it at 11 o'clock and it ends a half hour after the parade ends. That's how we're going to do it. So make sure that you get there at some point between 11 and a half hour after the parade ends to get your free cup of Little Ground Top. And I hope you enjoy it. And then I hope you also grab yourself a bag of Little Ground Top. Oh, great. We get to watch a 4-mile-long train go in front of us now. Oh, shit. I'm never going to get... Okay. Yeah, we hear you. And, of course, here, let me zoom in for you train files. We call them choo-choo files. We'll put the car in park. Oh, we're lucky. This isn't a very long one today. Good. Good. Oh. Oh, Chris is sipping his cup of Little Ground Top right now, he says. And Ty Webb says, if you don't order Little Ground Top during the parade, it not only won't be free, but it'll be spit in. That's right. Anything other than Little Ground Top that you order, I told them I'll give you an extra $200 to spit in any other order. So, there you go. No, that's not true. Eric Houston says, I'm going to keep going into Bantam in different costumes to get as many free... Hey, I don't care as long as it gets out there. In fact, that might be a good idea because then they'll think this stuff can't stay on the shelf or in the cup. You're like Peter Griffin at Costco with these samples. All right, what is happening here? There's always something going on in town, construction-wise. UNC says, Eric, I'll bet your fake beards will be more realistic than Stewart's. Of course, that is a movie reference there, folks. Gold Prospect King, hello. Wundermonkey says, whoop, there it is. All right, anyone who sends Matt $5 or more super chat and wants a Getty's Nerd decal, take a screenshot when your super chat pops up and then send me a DM or something. Well, you got to do something better than that, because can you send DMs through YouTube? Can you do that? That would be fascinating. I've never noticed that. Do you have like an email, or they can look you up on Facebook? See, this is where it gets tricky, Wundermonkey, because now you have to out yourself, right? And give your information. Got to think that through. Okay, what the flying chrysanthemum are we doing here? Okay. Oh my God. It's easier to get across Manhattan at rush hour. Where's the alley? See, what do I always tell you guys? And here I'm not taking my own advice. Learn the alleys. I'm showing you why. No, it's Monkey. Wundermonkey. Oh, sweet Christmas. What is this guy doing? Snooze, you lose, lady. All right, let's see. Yeah, I should have followed the truck up to High Street, because that turn is even harder to do. When is the Gettysburg Alley air conditioning unit tour? I think they're doing the first one in May. Somebody told me, and I don't know if this is true, but somebody told me that the owner of that air conditioning unit put it on eBay. Dogface says the alleyways are the best kept secret by the locals. They are. Eric says, good choice. Following that truck would not turn out well. Yeah, should have thought of that. Samurai says, I took a bunch of pics of the ones down Baltimore Street. Are we talking air conditioners, or what are we talking about there? All right, so we got a Culps Hill off to our right there, ladies and gentlemen. And I always suggest you park here and walk up that grassy knoll into the woods and take a look at the northish face of Culps Hill. And imagine that you're Jones's brigade, and you can see why nobody attacked the north face of Culps Hill. And you'll see why he said that you needed, what did he say, scaling ladders or something like that? Jim says, I went to the electric Gettysburg map thing a couple of weeks ago, and the owner of the air conditioning was there. Oh, man, did he sign autographs? Keep all four tires on the pavement if you park there, though. That's right, absolutely. Gettysburg Foundation has posted they will do the illumination. Very good. Oh, good, yeah. See, that's the nice thing about having a nonprofit attached to the park. I went, during the shutdown, I went to Harper's Ferry to get some footage for the Tavern talk. And I couldn't believe the shuttles were still running. The buildings were all open. I was like, how is this happening? And I assumed they had a foundation. No, the governor of West Virginia allocated state funds, apparently, to keep it all open. It was that and one other park. I forget which park it was. And I got to say, good on the governor. Good on the governor. I think too bad more governors didn't do that around the country. It would have been nice way to embarrass the feds, or at least Congress. But they didn't. But that would have been nice. Babber says Gettysburg fan. Oh, I just read that. And Jim says lol. All right, here we are in Spangler's Meadow. Spangler Spring here. Nobody's out here today. That's nice. This is what it was like during COVID. No one was around. And then you'd see somebody, and it would be another local. You'd be like, oh, how you been? Good. Isn't it great? Nobody's here. And for a while it was. For a while it was. Surreal, yet great. I wouldn't want to go through it again, though. Chad Chris says, that's my governor. Morning, Gaslight. How you doing? Hey, was it you, Gaslight, the other day that asked about writing? I was hoping that you would have sent me an email. I was looking for an email from you, but I didn't see one. But that doesn't mean you didn't send one. It just means I couldn't find it through all of the junk mail I get and all that other stuff. All right, it was you. Okay. Oh, that's fine. You forgot about it. I mean, I'm terrible with emails, so don't worry. But yeah, if you're still interested in doing something, I'd like to talk to you. Ty says a lot of people like their Gettysburg with culp, a lot like with no culp. Okay, we're making a pulp joke and an orange joke, orange juice joke here, I think. I like my Gettysburg with some pulp, but okay, never mind. That was good. Like when Tony Soprano comes out and gives Carmela a hard time and she throws the cordless phone at him. Goes, I like it with some pulp. Ah, yes, Walter, it is a lovely fall drive today. Looking forward to the parade on Saturday. Looking forward to seeing the town lively for the second to last time of the year. Well, third to last time. We've got the Christmas festival and then, of course, New Year's Eve. I will probably, I don't know what I'm going to do New Year's Eve. But they're having fireworks down at the Barn Resort. I'm thinking I might do that. And I recommend you do too. Go down to the Barn Resort. Check out the fireworks. Beautiful out there. If you get out there when it's still light out and you see the view, if you haven't been out there yet, and you see the view, it is a very, very pretty place. Very pretty. Ron says, was out with Charlie Fennell Saturday and had two people approach him who recognized him from the AG podcast. Oh, very nice. Very nice. It's, I won't name names, but I was told by someone who was on a bus tour. Not a bus tour through the visitor center, but a bus tour done by a guide and somebody that we all know and love. And I don't know if it was through I think it was through an organization. But this guy has been on the show. The person who told the story has been on the show and a couple times, and he's definitely a fan because when he comes in, he always refers to conversations or small throwaway lines or asides that one of us has said, and he really listens, and he listens closely. Fellow Jerseyan, and he said that while this was this other person's tour for this other organization, he goes, the people in the back of the bus couldn't stop talking about what Addressing Gettysburg is doing, and I still don't believe him. I'll have to really press him on this issue here, because some people, they'll say things like, oh yeah, they're talking about all the things that you're doing, but in reality, if you were actually there, you'd hear them say, oh, I listen to Addressing Gettysburg too. You know what I mean? But people interpret things differently, so I'd have to actually see if he has some quotes that he can tell me, because I find it very hard to believe, because I don't see the evidence of that coming in to the headquarters. You see what I'm saying? So I don't know. But that could also be that I just think I'm a worthless piece of shit, and can't imagine anybody doing that. Could be my own perception being way off. Ty says, yes, Tony was Wobie. Tony was Wobie was thinking about there. The flying hell are you saying? Somebody go check on Ty, make sure he's not having a stroke. We'll be there for that parade. All right, Walter. We'll stop by Vance and Roasters on the porch and say hi to us. We're going to do video. Chris, thank you for the $20 super chat. Is the park back open now? I don't know about now, but I understand the government will be reopening. I don't believe it was immediate with the signing of the papers and whatnot. I think it's next week. I don't know. However, to correct you slightly, the park was never closed. Park was never closed. I'll repeat it again. The park was never closed. The visitor center never closed. You just didn't have interpretive programs. The people, in the offices who work for the National Park Service here at Gettysburg weren't doing their jobs, but the world did not come to an end. The park was still open. The visitor center was still open, unless you only love to do ranger programs, which quite frankly, I don't know how many they were going to have anyway. They don't do as many as they used to. So I don't really know what was lacking. I didn't notice anything different in going around, except that it felt like our park again. So nothing really changed. So hopefully you weren't avoiding coming to Gettysburg thinking that the park was closed, because you were really missing out. Actually, from what I'm hearing from businesses and from people I know at the foundation, this shutdown actually did a lot of great for visitation to Gettysburg, because Washington, D.C. was all shut. And so all these people that had these bus trips planned to D.C. had to make a last minute decision, to change and go somewhere else. And a lot of them came here, and it was really good for the local economy. So, thank you to the dysfunction in Washington. Gettysburg probably got a little extra money than it would normally get this time of year. So there you go. There's a little dose of reality for you, or actuality, or whatever you want to call it. Okay, Check Chris says, if you're in Gettysburg over the weekend, Brian Kennel is opening the gatehouse for everyone. Oh, good to know. Ty says, Chris, your $20 is actually what will open it back. UNC says, and we're back in front of the Jeb Stuart Monument. There you go. That's funny. Wood says, hey, everyone. Wish I could be there some year. Or wish I could be there some year. Charlie Fennell is an honorary West Virginian. Yeah, didn't he grow up so close to the border out there in Pittsburgh that I think both states claim him? And I think he claims both states. Jim says, did they take the tarps off the monuments yet? Funny. At TCD, or Tim says, Charlie Fennell, Eric Lindblade, and a Tavern talk. I want to spend my next trip with Ron Moore. Oh, gotcha. Yes, because he went to do all those things. Ty says, my fat ass thumb hit the B instead of the space to give it whoa. Oh, got you. I don't, you'd have to give me the whole thing again. I'm not scrolling back for it. I don't remember what it was. Sorry. Matt Gillespie says, I did a Culps Hill tour with Charlie Fennell. I highly recommend him. Walter says to Wood, this is a great time of year to visit the battlefield. My opinion, leaves off the trees and you can see much more, less crowding, very quiet visit. Yes, I agree. I would add to that, anytime after November or whenever the ground and the trees are denuded of their foliage and green goodness. And that's because you can really get the lay of the land. And that is important when understanding this battle or any battle. And also you can see through the trees, especially now, ladies and gentlemen, as the park is being neglected and the clearing that we have done 20 years ago that millions of dollars were spent on has basically gone back to jungle, or has been allowed to go back to jungle. Winter really is the only time to come if you want to really get a full understanding of the battle based on topography and lines of sight. And it's only going to get worse if you see, there's an old documentary that Leslie Nielsen narrated about Gettysburg, and you can see like the growth of trees down at Devil's Den. You can't even see across to the Snyder Farm. You just can't. And there's just trees everywhere. That is what we're heading back to. Unless an act of God, and by act of God, I mean, somebody in the federal government's like, hey, we gave you money to clear all this stuff. We're going to give you money to re-clear it because that's what you're supposed to do. And, because it's always money, right? But it's also intent. So anyway, that is why you come here during the winter. Now, I'm going to warn you, the wind out here is vicious and ferocious, and it never lets up. I cannot recall a still winter day. So I would highly recommend you prepare for that, especially if you're out at the angle, any open plain like that. You want to protect against that because it will drive you nuts, and you're not going to really be able to. You're going to be dancing in place just to keep warm from the wind, and you're really not going to be able to focus on learning anything unless you're like one of those super focused people that can withstand that. I freaking can't. I'm like, yeah, that's great. Get me back in the car. I'm done with this cold. So if you're like me, make sure that you prepare for that. And then, of course, what we like to do after a long day doing that is let me just move from the Jeb Stuart Monument over here. We would go for a nice hot cup of French onion soup and a hearty dinner over there at La Casa de Dabin, which is, of course, Spanish for the Dobbin House. Okay, hopefully 6Q can get his LBG. Yeah. Hopefully we can get all that taken care of and celebrate Mikey's license at the Christmas party this year. What are the odds of finding a decent place to stay overnight on New Year's Eve? Now, I don't know, maybe 30%. Who knows? You might have to go further out of town, but you might not. I don't know. I don't know if New Year's Eve is as popular as it used to be. It used to be done well on the square. And then I think the people who put it on changed and they kind of fell on their face and it's not done well anymore. So it's not the draw it used to be, but I would look, maybe, well, I don't know. I really don't know. I haven't stayed in a hotel in years, so I don't really know what the ebb and flow is anymore. Dennis says, who's the best park ranger there in your opinion? Oh, I keep those opinions to myself, Dennis. Thank you, though. Mr. Toad says, yes, all the overgrowth is really becoming a problem. I agree. Ty says, I noticed that compound stuff they put a little round top. Oh, the aggregate. Yes, it's completely ruined. I won't say who, but I know a licensed guide who got in trouble with the park for talking about that and how they really screwed the pooch on that. And yeah, instead of just like fixing it, the Precious Advocate, right, Ty? Yeah, yeah. Another bill of goods. Walter says, Dobbin House, that's right. Have a great day, hun. We'll look for you next weekend. Are you talking to me? Have a great day to you as well. Wonder Monkey says, like, I should probably just crash in the Walmart parking lot. Well, if you have a camper, but I think they limit it to 2 hours. John B says, looking forward to the Christmas party. See you then. Yes, sir. See you then. No, Wonder Monkey, I would go and look. Go and look. And it depends on where you're going to go. Like if you're going to go in the square for the New Year's festivities and you want to find something close to the square so you could just walk, you might have a harder time. If you want to go to, let's say, the Barn Resort for their festivities and fireworks, which I highly recommend, then I would say look at the Eisenhower, that hotel down there. It's closer. It's right across the street, basically. So, yeah, I mean, you've got some options there. But I don't know who's booked or who's not. Looking forward to the Christmas party because Mr. Toad says not that Walmart. Okay. Well, I don't know which Walmart you're talking about, but all right. All right, I got to go in, talk to Chad. That's the owner here at Bantam. And then I got to go and grab some food. And then I got to finish editing and stuff like that for tonight's show. So you guys have yourselves a great day. And I will talk to you tonight on AG Today.